Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. Fort Wayne is now home to one of the largest high-efficient milk processing plants in the nation. Walmart executives cutting the ribbon this week on the 250,000 square foot facility that has created some 300 jobs. The new plant will produce great value and members mark white and chocolate milk for nearly 500 Walmart stores and Sam's Club locations in the Midwest. And for more on the impact of the plant and the broader effort to boost Indiana's already significant dairy industry, I'm pleased to be joined by Indiana State Department of Agriculture Director Bruce Kettler. And Bruce, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gary.
This was a big announcement in Fort Wayne, Northeast Indiana this week. Walmart getting into the milk processing, the food processing business, if you will, in the United States for the first time. How big is this project?
It's big, Gary. And as you mentioned, since this is their first foray into food processing as a company, I think it says a lot about Indiana that they chose to come here and put this plant here. And it's big. The jobs you mentioned, of course, very important, but being able to support local dairy farmers and being able to source that milk close to the plant is really important to them as well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that because a big part of this story is a lot of Hoosier farmers, dairy farmers, are going to get business. They're going to be supporting this plant.
They are. Walmart's objective is to source half of the milk that feeds into this plant eventually from Indiana dairy farms. They're going to get some from Michigan, some from Ohio, but their objective is to make sure that at least half of it comes from Indiana. So that's good for our Indiana dairy farmers as well.
You touched on this a second ago, but why Indiana, and what does it say that Walmart, as they get into this business, chose Indiana for this plant?
Well, I think first and foremost, Walmart, like any company that's going to be producing food products, they want high quality. And they know that in order to get high quality milk, they can get that here in the state of Indiana. So besides having the amount of milk that they need to make sure the plant's running efficiently, they want to make sure they've got a good source of high quality milk, and they know that our dairy farmers in Indiana can produce that quality.
Well, let's talk about the dairy industry. A lot of people may not know that Indiana already has a fairly significant dairy industry. As you look, I think 14th in milk production, second in ice cream production, right? In the entire country. So it's substantial already.
It is, and this plant just adds to the number of facilities that we have. We've got about 20 processing plants in the state of Indiana for all kinds of dairy products. So whether it's fluid milk, cheese, you mentioned ice cream, of course, is big. This just adds to that. And again, I think Walmart saw the business climate in Indiana, but they also know and understand that we're able to do these things very well. We had a strategy that the State Department of Agriculture embarked on for dairy about 3 years ago, and we're seeing the fruits of that strategy now, because we were letting about 4 million pounds of milk a day go outside of the borders of Indiana. Now with this facility and with other efforts to bring more processing to Indiana, we're going to stem that tide. And in fact, I think we can make that actually 4 million pounds coming into the borders of the state of Indiana eventually.
Well, it's amazing. So again, there is a dairy strategy, part of the overall ag strategy. Yeah. Talk about that, specifically dairy, and then how that fits into the overall ag strategy.
Yeah, so again, when we looked at the dairy industry, we knew we needed to get more processing, and that's coming to fruition. We're looking to bring more cheese plants and other processing facilities online here in the next year or so, and we continue to reach out to those companies and let them know what we have here. But it does fit into the broader strategy that we have for our industry. That was implemented just a little over a year ago. We're looking to bring in the strategic initiatives. There's about 7 of those in the strategic plan, and we want to make sure we get all of our partners engaged in those initiatives and telling us what we need to do. We, of course, will adjust as we need to when necessary.
And as we wrap up, I only have about 30 seconds left, but you're undertaking a rural economic development strategy, if you will, that's really going to identify where the assets are, where to maybe focus efforts going forward.
Yeah, but this fall we'll have gathered a lot of information to help identify our agriculture assets. Where are they located in the state? What are the assets? And the idea is to get local and regional economic development teams thinking about what those assets are and what business do we want to bring to those areas so that we can add value to Indiana ag products in those locations.
All right, Bruce Kettler is the director of the Indiana State Department of Agriculture. Lots going on in the ag world, dairy and beyond. Bruce, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right.